the Yankees have a massive opportunity with all-star pitcher Roki Sasaki declining his offer in Japan. All signs are pointing to him coming to the MLB, and we know the Yankees are going to be the top target for him. I'm going to be talking about what's going on here, what will have to happen for the Yankees to be able to be even in on Roki Sasaki, and what implications this will have for this upcoming season, because we are all awaiting the arrival of Roki Sasaki in the MLB. Now, before we get into all of this news here, we know so 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your New York Yankees news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything New York Yankees. But without any further ado, we need to get into this. Roki Sasaki has been one of the top names that we've been seeing since the last World Baseball Classic, and his pitching for Japan was just absolutely incredible. And this is one thing we've all been waiting for. We've all been waiting for the day that Roki Sasaki has been linked to the MLB, declining his offer in Japan, and now having reports coming out that he is going to be testing the MLB free agency. Now, I'm going to pull our first screenshot here, looking at what we have. Roki Sasaki has declined an offer from Chiba Lotte Mariners, per sources. Romero tweeted on November 3rd, the situation of the 23-year-old ace still remains one of the possibilities being posted to sign with an MLB team, while another is continuing negotiations with the Marines. So obviously, this is not confirmed yet. Roki Sasaki at some point will be in the MLB, but right now we don't know if this will finally be the year or not. There obviously are many situations that we have to look at before the Yankees can even be considered for Roki Sasaki. One of those being, of course, what happens to Juan Soto. Whatever happens to Juan Soto, it's going to be a very big telltale sign of what's going to happen, knowing how much he's going to cost, knowing how much he's expected to make in this upcoming contract. And this is all hinges on whether the New York Yankees commit over $600 million to Juan Soto. And if they do, consider them likely out for Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. If they don't, though, then a bulk of that money could very well go to Sasaki. And we've been seeing over the past few seasons, when these guys come over from Japan, when these massive names come over, we see how much money is really allotted to them, how much time has been spent scouting these guys over there, and it really turns out, so far from what we've seen, very well. And even seeing that opportunity he had at such a young age in the World Baseball Classic against Team USA, against some of these other top countries, mainly the USA being that they are a powerhouse. Majority of that, team was full MLB players, all-star MLB players, and he just comes out here and dominates every game he's played. And that's one thing that we all kind of had to wait for, had to look at and see if that will translate to the MLB level. And really, we kind of expect him to be at that level when he does get over here. But looking at this screenshot as well, if Sasaki is posted, he instantly become one of the hottest names on the market, if not the hottest, due to his low price. Jim Bowden of The Athletic highlighted that the Yankees have committed significant resources to scout him, naming them one of the landing spots for his service. So obviously, the Yankees were really bargaining on him coming over at some point. Having the amount of scouts over there looking at him, they do have a very good sign and very good look at where he's going to be, what he's at right now, where he will be in the future, and how his game will transform to the American game. I think there's a big thing that the Yankees were really looking at and trying down to get overexcited for his services in the MLB. But looking at what Jim Bowden had to say here first, it's unclear if Roki Sasaki's team in Japan, the Chiba Lotte Mariners, will allow him to leave for the MLB this offseason, but with the Marines out of the NPB playoffs, we should know soon if he's coming. He will be the most coveted international free agent, as the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, and Red Sox and the Diamondbacks all committed significant resources to scout him this month, including sending top executives to see him pitch. And you don't just do this for anybody. You don't just send over your top executive, your top scouts, multiple top scouts, to scout a guy that you don't really know about and what's going to happen. So, once again, a very good sign that we're seeing for Roki Sasaki being at least in contention for the New York Yankees. And looking at our next screenshot here as well, this is another very interesting one in his stats. This year, a very worrisome injury, I guess we could say, limiting him to a few games, not too much to actually go off of this season, but he's still been dominant at every level of his game. As you see this year, a 2.35 ERA with last year's 1.78, and still at only the age of 22, turned 23 yesterday. He is going to have some extreme talent once he gets over to the MLB level, and already at his age throwing 102 consistently, and even a couple years ago in the World Baseball Classic, keeping that number at 102, 103 fastball. These are some really exciting numbers to be able to see from such a young kid whose stuff is absolutely nasty, and he will just continue to get better and better and better as he does continue to age. And we see where Ohtani is at now. Unfortunately, not on the Yankees, but we can see where starting young pitching, coming up to where we see Ohtani now, how his hitting has progressed and everything. There's so much potential to see with Roki Sasaki and where he does come from this. But we have another here quote from Jim Bowden. It says, how much teams would be willing to offer Sasaki could depend on his medical reports, as he didn't pitch for 2 months in the middle of the year because of arm troubles, which limited him to 18 games and 111 innings. Since Sasaki is still under 25, he would be subject to international bonus pool restrictions. If he's posted after the season, he'd only be allowed to sign a minor league contract, which is what Ohtani did with the Angels in 2017. So this is another big thing that the Yankees would have to consider, is that being in this international pool really is not going to come in here and just go right into this Yankees roster. They will have to wait, depending on if he does come over this season, depending on what happens, but the signing is the main priority here. And the signing is obviously the thing that we're looking for. They'd be okay with waiting a year or two to go and get Roki Sasaki and get him into this system, getting into the MLB game, as it is quite a different game, but it's kind of two sides of the same coin. So that's one thing that I think we all kind of want to see, is what Roki Sasaki will translate, how his game will translate into this MLB level. And looking at this next screenshot here as well, of course, of the starting rotation for the Yankees right now. Gerrit Cole opted out of his contract, but we still expect him to be on this Yankees team, just under a bit of a different price tag. But the starting pitching could definitely use a guy like Roki Sasaki, that elite level pitcher who is going to be here for years to come. And Gerrit Cole was that guy, now unfortunately aging more and more as the seasons go on. Still a very great pitcher, but we know how much age impacts pitchers in the MLB. Some get better, some get worse, but Gerrit Cole's getting quite a bit higher on that list of aged pitchers. But Roki Sasaki at 23, that would revamp this entire starting pitcher and immediately become your ace going into the middle of the first season that he does play with the Yankees. Of course, all speculation until he does end up coming here, but another thing I wanted to pull up and kind of go over as well is the odds of Roki Sasaki. What teams are going to be in on him? And as you see, the Yankees are not really near the top, but I think this has a lot to do with the contract of Juan Soto. They're putting this into consideration knowing that the Yankees still want Juan Soto. We absolutely still want Juan Soto. But Roki Sasaki is kind of a whole different ball game. And as you see, the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres, Mets, and Red Sox are all teams that are not going to be too far in on Juan Soto, but they're still going to be kind of around. You know, everybody's going to kind of check in on Juan Soto as you would, knowing that he's out there and having an opportunity to. But the top teams are still going to be in on him. But what we're looking at Roki Sasaki, the Dodgers, once again, the favorite, kind of having the inside knowledge, and especially the kind of part where they have Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They have those guys already there that he would definitely want to go with his fellow countrymen, which obviously would make sense, but the Yankees would have to put a big price tag out there if they do want Roki Sasaki, which obviously they certainly would. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Roki Sasaki is going to be in the MLB this year, first of all? And do you think the Yankees are going to put all their chips on the table for Roki Sasaki rather than Juan Soto, or as well with Juan Soto? Very, very big news here coming out today, and I'm very excited to see how this does progress over the coming days and weeks, especially now when free agency is opening tomorrow. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. A lot of Yankees news coming towards you, so you're not going to want to miss out. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.